Now we're going to move from land to water, and we're heading southwest from Wellington. Clare Jeffery from Friends of the River Exe is going to tell us about the River Exe Transition Partnership. Rich mentioned partnership grants. So here's a beautiful story from Clare about a partnership grant in action. Clare, your 5 minutes starts now.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Clare Jeffery, and I'm a friend of the River Exe. There's my logo. Friends of the River Exe. It's a transition partnership project that was seed funded by Transition Together. On to slide 2, please, Emily. So we started out as an idea of 3 transition groups with a shared concern. They were Transition Exmouth, Transition Exeter, and Sustainable Tiverton. And they'd also been inspired by an artist-led organisation called Tidelines, who brought together science and art to respond to the climate and nature crisis around the estuary of the Exe, and end sewage convoys and pollution Exmouth Escape, who've been finding gaps in data about pollution in the Exe. And the 3 transitions groups realised that the river could reveal the wider ecosystems that are being exploited by human behaviour. It's like a sort of gateway issue to people who might not normally think about sustainability, because everyone cares about river pollution. So they were extremely happy to receive a Transition Together Transition Partnership seed funding grant, and employed Mary, who's the one in the green hat, and me as joint coordinators. Next slide, please. So first of all, we wanted to include as many diverse users of the river as possible to create a community around the Exe. So in April this year, we invited people living up and down the river to 3 river conversations, one in Tiverton, one in Exeter, and one in Exmouth. And there, over 200 people pledged to take action. And that's how our activity groups were formed. There was such a huge range of people. Some had a sort of cautious, more conservative approach, whereas others had a creative spark and thought laterally about ways of doing things. Some bringing a sort of spiritual or a creative or a direct action approach. So next slide, please. So second, we wanted to act on the desire of so many to improve the ecological quality of the Exe by monitoring. And we've actually been completely overwhelmed by the number of people wanting to train as citizen scientists. And that was delivered by our partners, West Country Rivers Trust, and supported with a Sea Changers grant to pay for equipment so that no one had so that cost wasn't a barrier to getting involved. Such amazing people came forward. We had specialists in regenerative farming, Himalayan balsam clearing, seagrass monitoring, conservation, crayfish management, lawyers, landowners, canoeists, vets, journalists, politicians. The list was endless. And so we were also able to set up a legal action group, a direct action group, a festival organizer group, and a fundraising group. So informed by all this expertise, you'll see on the right, we've now have on our website a useful resource for people who might not want to act as a group, but would prefer to act individually, on what actions they can take to help clean up the Exe. And the other thing about this huge diversity of people involved and their generosity with their time and expertise is that we felt empowered to push the boat out a little further. And what we're on now is a journey to encourage a shift more towards self-organising. So that's an interesting learning there about subsidiarity, to encourage more organising. As coordinators, we have 16 hours a week between us. So it relies on self-organising. So next slide, please. Our festival, which is a new festival of the Exe that we ran in the week of World Rivers Day, which was the 18th to 24th of September, proved that a sort of very devolved model of self-organising was possible. So our volunteers organised, for example, the walk that reconnects, which is the bottom middle picture on Powderham Castle. We partnered with Powderham Castle to do that. The Exmouth Quakers ran some absolutely amazing events, an evening stillness meditation at the water's edge, there on the middle on the left, a very exciting night swim, which you can see on the bottom right in very turbulent water, We partnered with Tiverton Museum to record older people's memories of the Exe as it used to be long ago. And our finale was Tidelines Salmon Run that follow the migratory path of the struggling Atlantic salmon. So last slide, please. So for me, it's been a really nourishing way of experiencing how society can work together in person and locally to take action, to care about the ecological systems that we're in. And the generosity of people involved has been awe-inspiring. The sense of sharing different specialist knowledge, practices, ways of being, different generations as well, people opening up and listening to different views that they might not normally be open to. So what started as an idea of 7 people in 3 transition groups has ended up as a community of over 300 people up and down the river. And we're looking forward to 3 more river conversations this month for us to co-create our next chapter together. Thank you. I've done it, just about.
Thank you, Claire. Amazing. Amazing. Well done. Thank you. Thank you.